And then the clincher was when Oprah's office called me to merchandise her Life You Want tour. And I felt so validated. Energy speaks, Kerstin. It just speaks because you're living this life, you're doing this thing that you don't know why you're doing it or where you're going or this chaos that you've created. I mean, literally, my kids were in high school and the frenzy, my kids would do trunk shows and they would sell $85,000 a day in these trunk shows. And I was like, community. We started with community. And that's a really big word because if you want to do anything, start with your community because
Amen.
They will be honest. Their actions will be honest. And it started like that.
This is StRest. I'm Kerstin Lindquist, health coach, author, and Emmy award-winning TV host. I've committed to helping people reduce stress through impressive health science, attainable mindset change, and biblical truth. Let's have a real conversation with zero judgment and endless solutions that you can use. You aren't alone. You can do this. Let me help you reduce stress and make room for rest. Alina Villasante's mission has always been to empower women to feel confident, comfortable, and elegant wherever they go. Her work as the creator of Peace, Love, World has not gone unnoticed. She has been honored among Forbes 50 over 50, the Q50 by QVC, and named Woman of the Year by International Finance Bank. Her powerful celebrity following include Oprah Winfrey, Jennifer Lopez, Sofia Vergara, Ellen DeGeneres, Jennifer Garner, and the Kardashian family. They have all turned Peace, Love, World into a movement. Every garment is branded with positive affirmation and infused with love. Lena lives with the intention for more women to feel beautiful, reminding them if you want to feel something, become it, and then you will attract it. I can't wait to introduce you to Alina Villasante. Hey, quick break. Are you feeling your age a little bit? Joints or maybe brittle hair or face, skin? One supplement can address all of that. It's collagen. And my favorite by far is Ancient Nutrition. Collagen is the most abundant protein in the human body, so we need it. And Ancient Nutrition is my favorite because it's made from real quality ingredients that I know that I can trust. In just 2 scoops of their multi-collagen protein, you are getting 20 grams of protein to help support your hair, your skin, your nails, your joints. And as an added bonus, you're also getting vitamin C and probiotics. That's for gut and digestive health support. It's the perfect addition to any beverage. You can put it in your shake and things like that, but also overnight oats, baked goods. But I put the unflavored multi-collagen protein in my black coffee every single morning. It's perfect because it mixes really easily and it's virtually tasteless. I especially also love their strawberry lemonade because it's very super refreshing in the summer, but whatever, you need to get your collagen. Multi-collagen protein is more than just collagen. It's real results that you can see and feel from ingredients that you can trust. That's why I'm talking about it. Right now, you can get 25% off. You go to ancientnutrition.com and put in the code STREST25. That's STREST 25. STREST25 at ancientnutrition.com. And that's going to get you 25% off site-wide. Make sure you grab my favorite for the dark coffee, which is your multi-collagen protein, but then also try something else as well. You're going to love it. That's STREST25 for 25% off. Get your collagen. Alina Villasante. Who is Alina Villasante for those who don't necessarily know you like I do?
Just this normal girl born in Cuba. I have 4 brothers. I immigrated to New York, lived there for 12 years, went to high school in Atlanta, then moved to Miami 4 days after I graduated from high school, which is hard when everybody has their friends and their cliques. Yeah. And I'm just this normal girl that had an immigrant upbringing, which honestly, I think builds a lot of incredible character in people. I think that you take nothing for granted. And when you do, somehow the Lord sends you a tiny little reminder that you are so blessed. And then you go back to that. And yeah, I've had a very fortunate, beautiful, loving life. I really have. I can't complain.
Peace Love World has not been most of your life.
No.
This came around a little bit later. Tell us how you got there. You were in aviation?
And I'm still, because we have another aviation, which is so funny. I was on air the other day and one of the hosts says,
On
oh,
air
you
at QVC, by the
yeah,
way.
she says, you can fly in on your airplane. I'm like, well, I don't have airplanes because I think people think because we overhaul aircraft engines. No, we are a company that overhauls the aircraft engine accessories, the fuel pumps, the hydraulics, the generators, things like that. So that was something that I started with the father of my kids. We sold back in 2008, and then we bought a sick company and then went into COVID. But Peace Love World was born the year prior to us selling our aviation company. We had a really well-oiled machine, and I just wanted, honestly, it was subconscious, completely subconscious. I started designing black and white t-shirts with the affirmations, which is funny. I go to my cousin's birthday party, or I have a birthday party for my cousin, and my friends all come over, and my friend makes me a shirt that says, I am love. And because of that shirt, I said, oh my God, that's what's missing. And because of that gift that she made for me, Peace Love World, it was like, you know how you have this great idea, but something's missing? Because when you know, you know. It's like love. When you know, you know. And when she gave me that, I said, oh my God, that's it. And that's where I did, I am peace, I am love, I am happiness, I am blessed, and I am chaos, which I haven't been using chaos as much because since the world is so chaotic, you're trying to push and lift from other places, but I'm still a little chaotic.
Yeah. Well, and that makes a whole lot of sense with this podcast because we do focus on how we reduce the bad stress and increase the good stress. And chaos can be a bad stress, but building a business can be a good stress.
No, and chaos adds a little life to those moments.
True.
Character and life and energy.
And embracing the chaos, not
embracing
fighting
the
against
chaos. Yes. I almost named my book Embracing the Chaos. But yeah, I work every day on, I need structure and organization around me at all times. So anyone who works with me cannot be chaotic. I'm the only one allowed to bring the chaos.
it. It's a great business plan.
No, it's true because I mean,
totally good.
Even my refrigerator, I have to have everything facing forward, aligned, all that. And if I like my rack for my show tomorrow is already being built, and once it's all done, I function. Without it, I can't function because my brain goes as crazy as everything else. I need a lot of structure, calendars, to-do lists, post-it notepads. You know, I'm one of those people.
Where were you in your life when Peace Love World started? Were you raising kids? Were you over 40? What was happening?
My kids are such a big reason of why Peace Love World just kind of took off. So yeah, my kids were in high school and we had a really good business in aviation. And I was like doing all this stuff behind the scenes with my IT guy. You know, I was learning how to do CADs and Illustrator and all that by myself at night. I would be in bed and my kids' friends would be around, how do I do this? I'm stuck. And I really learned by myself, which, you know, I always say the first 5 years of a business, and remember this, because for you, this is great. The first 5 years of the business are the hardest. They're the ones where you have the most hands-on, you have the most fear, you're everything. You're shipping, your development, you're creating, you're everything in the business. And your house is an inventory place, and the store is your house, and everything is like that. And then, you know, you get to this 5-year point where everybody calls an overnight success, which that's when everybody gets to know you, but you've been grinding for 5 years. And then all of a sudden you're this overnight success. And now you have people that you hire that add value to you. But believe it or not, there's so much fun in that beginning, in that not sleeping. Where's the money coming from? Oh my God, what am I going to do with all this inventory? Or who am I going to get on my podcast? And who am I going to, it's hard, but you go back to those days and you're like, you're so important to every part of it. And it's really you, because you're the one that built this. You're the one that thought of it. You're the one that created it. And then later you just align yourself with things that you feel you need, because we are not everything to everybody all the time. You know, we have our thing, that our energy, our talent, and then other people bring what you're kind of lacking. Not that you're lacking anything.
No, but you know what? That's where God's refining you too. In that,
absolutely,
in those, let's call it 5 years or whatever it is
And
for
he always
anybody
shows
else
up.
who
Always.
is just, you're leaning on him, you want to quit, you're afraid, but you just keep on surrendering it, and he puts every step in front of you. I mean, that's where a lot of the character building happens.
Look, the only thing we take with us in this world is love. And the love we left and the love we take and the soul and the heart, it's the only thing we take. We're building lives and homes and tangibles and so many beautiful things, the things we wear. It's all great. It's all a part of life, but we don't take anything with us except, those things that you did, the people you touched, the things you created, the things you taught people, the things they taught you is great, and you will go with all that. But I feel like along the way, and I feel like maybe, I was a late bloomer in many ways because, a lot of my things started later in my life when they were supposed to, right? But then I think back, I wish I would have done this in my 20s. I wish I would, but I don't think it would have been the way it is today. And also, I started having kids very young. So I finished very early and I was almost too young not to have children at home, I feel, because I was 44 or 42 already and my kids were, grown up. And I feel like that's when I kind of bloomed and flourished and kind of spent time on myself and I evolved as a human being because, motherhood it takes everything from you. As much as it takes everything from you, and you have all your kids' emotions and their needs and who needs this and who needs that and trying to be present at the same time. So I feel like even with you, your kids are a little bigger now. I know you have one that's still a little on the younger side, but it's kind of like not only do you grow, but they grow with you because they're watching mom. And trust me, they're watching mom.
I mean, a big part of the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing right now and that I stepped away from QVC was because those high school years,
Oh, yeah.
super hard for those. And I have
Like
girls
when
who are
they
in high
say
school, and
bruh, do they say bruh?
thankfully not to me, but to others, yes.
My boyfriend's daughter said, bruh. He goes, who are you calling bruh?
I learned something new every day. The other day it was
It's
like, oh yeah,
crazy.
he's a bop. And I was like, what's a bop? I was
Oh,
like, you don't even
yeah.
want to know what a bop is.
And then now the
Seriously.
initials, everything's like and sometimes they write me stuff and they're in their 30s. And I'm like, I have to ask the girls at the office because I don't want to be uncool. Like, what does this
No,
mean?
listen, you would never be uncool. If anybody's a cool mom, Alina, it's you.
I hope so, but you don't know if my kids think that.
It's true. So you start this business and you get into boutiques, correct?
So I start the business and I said, no phone number, no storefront, no anything, just black and white. I don't want people to know who I am. And I start this business and it was crazy. So I opened a store in Miami. A friend of mine who passed now, he had a brain tumor. Alex, out of all the people I've lost in my life, he's the one person that I think about every day because he was so young. But he said to me, I want to open a store with you. You can own it. I can own it. We can own it, whatever you want. And I was terrified because it's like really you're putting yourself out there. Anyway, I was very lucky. My brand took off overnight with every celebrity wanting it, the Kardashians having it on their show for a year. And I'm talking about Halle Berry, Britney Spears, Jennifer Lopez. I mean, it was just like, I don't know. And you know what? I realized that it was the words, it was the affirmations. And I thought I was doing it for other people, but they really came from me. And I know this now as a more mature adult that if they weren't true to me, they wouldn't have worked. And I always think that you've got to come from a place of love. And when I said I am love, because it started with love parties for my girlfriends, I really meant it because it's what I need. It's where I flourish. It's where, when I have a problem with someone or someone is not happy with me in any way, it really just, especially somebody that I love very much, it just takes me out. My equilibrium is just like not good
Totally
anymore
off.
because you know, I function from this one place and I can hurt very easily. I'm very sensitive when I make someone unhappy or I say something that I shouldn't say or So yeah, it really just took off. And then the clincher was when Oprah's office called me to merchandise her Life You Want tour. And I felt so validated. I felt so, I mean, energy speaks, Kerstin. It just speaks because you're living this life, you're doing this thing that you don't know why you're doing it or where you're going or this chaos that you've created. I mean, literally, my kids were in high school. I made all these t-shirts on American Apparel, black and white, from dogs to children to men to whatever. I was moving from one house to another. My house that I was leaving became a store with lines and lines of people every day wanting to buy my merchandise. We were going through due diligence. The deal was about to fall apart. My dad was in his 80s. Anybody that would come visit me, I would say, can you stay and help sell and give them an invoice book? And the inventory was under the pool table. And the frenzy, my kids would do trunk shows and they would sell $85,000 a day in these trunk shows. And I was like, and community. We started with community. And that's a really big word because if you want to do anything, start with your community because they will be honest. Their actions will be honest. And it started like that. I mean, I honestly, I always said that when I sold my company, I was going to Tahiti with hot guys carrying my bags and I wasn't coming back. And I went to a warehouse across the street, not knowing what I was doing. I went to my first trade show, and in aviation, you don't sell. You go, you present your company, you network, you meet the airlines. Well, you're supposed to sell in these trade shows. And I remember Target came and asked me for line sheets. I'm like, what are those? No, I am not kidding. And I would go to I think junk food, that brand was like in front of me and I forget who else. And I would say, hey, do you guys have line sheets? It was crazy.
You had all of the success, opened your own store front. You had Oprah Winfrey and all of these celebrities. When did the pivot come? How far in were you when you decided, okay, QVC is where I go?
Okay, so we had 9 stores and we were in 2,000 boutiques. So now life takes a turn. I wasn't knowledgeable in this business, and it's not how you sell, it's how you buy. I was being taken advantage by a lot of people, and I decided to look for a strategic partner, one that would just do production and I would do everything else. I had a sewing room. I had, 100 employees. It was crazy, but like I said, it's not that everything is selling, it's how you're buying. I think there was a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes because of my lack of knowledge. And I got a partner, a 50-50 partner, and I basically married the devil. And he would start shipping to Neiman Marcus at the same time as Off Price. And he was, you know, he was the New York guys that they're very mass market and about off price. And my brand wasn't that. So that's where everything really started taking a turn in my company. I was really unhappy. He didn't pay me for 2 years. I just, the perception on the outside wasn't the perception on the inside. So then I go to lunch with a friend of mine who's an MBA's wife, Ray Allen, and she says to me, hey, I want you to meet somebody. And she wants me to meet Carlina from, oh my God, my mind just went blank. The soap company.
Philosophy.
She wants me to meet, she sold her company. And she goes, I want you to meet Christine from Philosophy. And we went to New York and we had lunch. And she says, I want you to meet somebody. And she calls Doug Howe from QVC. And I go and present. And in 9 days, I had a 2.5-year contract.
Wow.
And it was amazing. Again, this man tried to take my checks, tried to take everything. And QVC was great with me. Like, we signed with you, we didn't sign with him. So I had to make a lot of tough decisions to get my company back. And the best thing, and this is like such a huge lesson, I had a really good attorney draw up my contract. And at the end in my contract, I said, I want to add something. And this is where you have to listen to your gut, listen to your intuition. And I said, I want to add that if he doesn't sell what I've been selling or more in a 12-month period, I have the option to buy my company back. And because of that, I saved my company, I saved my name, I saved everything because I was going to lose it all, because even my name was trademarked and he was trying to take it all. And I took everything I had and I went to New York and I got really good representation, and the rest is history. I fought for my company. I didn't eat for almost 28 days. I lost 24 pounds. My hair was falling out. My mother had a brain tumor, and I had just broken up with my relationship. I
Wow.
thought my world was over. When I tell you that it was the greatest spiritual moment in my life, I went to church every single day. I asked God to help me, put everything I had. It's the only thing I had that I could do at that moment. And I remember my daughter tells me one day, Mom, I've never seen you like this. This is not like, I'm a strong girl. Like, I don't do these things, but it just felt like everything, it all happened July 4th weekend, by the way. Like, everything happened July 4th weekend. And the only thing I knew that is, if I quit, it was over. That's the only answer I had. And I remember I would call the father of my kids and I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. And I feel like he was a sounding board for me also, you know, like when I was weak, maybe he would help me, and you kind of need to surround yourself around people that want the best for you, because it's so important when you're a friend that you want the best for your friends. You want to see them thrive. You want, and that's not everywhere. People kind of like to see people go down, and it wasn't my brand that was going down. It was what's happening behind the scenes that were going to make my brand go down and go away. I'm so proud to say that we're 16 years old. A lot of people don't make it that far, but it goes
No.
with a lot of grind and a lot of reinventing yourself and some bad collections along the way,
And some
it's
mistakes and some low points. And let's go back to that time when you were the lowest, when your mom had a brain tumor, you had a relationship breakup, you were losing your business, and you said you were the closest to the Lord. You
to
had such,
God ever, because
he puts you in those situations where you have
yes,
nothing else. You have to fully surrender to him.
yes.
We'll be right back. Don't go away. It's just getting good. On StRest, we talk a lot about supporting the systems in your life that hold you up, your habits, your routines, sleep, but that also includes your feet. Remember that song we used to sing, knee bone connected to the hip bone? That's not right, but you know where I'm going with this, right? It's all connected, and it starts with your feet. And if you're like me, you probably sacrificed comfort to style more times than you can count. I was able to join Revitalign when I worked at QVC to create really, really great shoes, flip-flops, sandals for you for many years. And now they are a sponsor of StRest. I love this brand. My entire family wears them. It's all about aligning your body from the ground up, literally, but also doing it with super cute styles. I wear them around the house, on long days of filming, even traveling, of course, down at the beach. And the difference is my body feels better at the end of the day. And that's what I want for you as well. Going into a new season, make sure you get yourself new, good shoes. And we have a discount for you. Visit WACOShoeCompany.com. That's WACO shoecompany.com, and enter the code Kerstin, Kerstin 20 for 20% off everything from really cute wedges to boots to sneakers. Get out there and get your sneakers. That's Waco Shoe Company, WACO shoecompany.com, and put in the code Kerstin 20, Kerstin 20. So you get 20% off and support yourself from the ground up.
When life is perfect, we all get hit with listen, everybody has some kind of pain with something. I always say, if your life is perfect and you worry about nothing, I want to meet you.
Yeah, right?
Because I don't think that exists. But
No.
even recently, my dad passed in September. And I really didn't know what grief was per se to this level. And I don't think you're grieving when you're grieving. I just knew that I had some challenges with my mom after, and I've had like 3 things recently that I've just been really sad. And I just went on vacation with my boyfriend and I didn't want to go. My heart wasn't into anything. My energy was low. I probably wasn't the friend I should have been. I wasn't probably the mom I should have been, but I had a grandbaby and I felt alive again. and that really has helped me a lot, and my daughter got pregnant and helped a lot, but I lost something. And on this trip, by the way, which was last week, I am born again. And I literally got on that airplane and I gave God 3 situations, things I couldn't solve, things I couldn't figure out. And I went back to that place of when I was at my lowest point and I said, God, I'm not even going to tell you what to do with this. I'm asking you, take this, and take this, and please solve it for me. I don't have it. I don't have what it takes to fix this. So on this trip, I wrote my mom a letter. I made big decisions in my life. I decided also that I'm going to move back to where my kids are because now I'm having grandbabies. I made a list of everything that fulfills me, that makes me happy. That's not the pretty dress and the great shoes and the new makeup. It's soulful. It's
Yeah.
all the things that give me that energy to wake up in the morning. And do you know that within a week, so many of my prayers were answered. And it's really, I would go stop at every church, light a candle, ask for help, ask for guidance. You know, the worst thing in life is to feel like there is no life, like to not feel alive. And, you know, I was just going through things, you know, one with a friend, one with my mom, another one with my dog. But I, I really, and I think that peace, love, world moment is the one that taught me that you will be okay. You will be okay, but there are changes you've got to make. You really have to believe that there's something bigger than yourself to solve these things and not be self-absorbed and think that you've got all the answers because sometimes you don't have the answers. And, you know, somebody gave me the book, The 5 Stages of Grief, right before I got on the plane. I listened to it on the plane. And what I didn't know is that you have that anger first, and then you have this, and I was in the sadness part. I was I was in the back of an Uber on my trip, and my boyfriend says to me, "I haven't seen you this happy since your dad died."
No.
And something came back. And look, I still miss him, and I think that a lot of things that went wrong after are because, you know, your parents do play powerful roles in your life. And it was really hard, but when I tell you, Kirsten, I I gave it with my heart and soul, with belief, with knowing that I'm taking it off of me and I'm giving it to you because I can't fix it. I don't know how. You know, I don't know how to feel alive. And then it's kind of appreciating all those moments and all those things and that baby's smell and my grandson excited when he sees me and making a decision to move back to a place that I really didn't want to live anymore because I really don't want to live in suburbia. I love my view. I love the ocean and I love the, you know, you understand that ocean
Yeah,
feeling more than
absolutely.
anyone. It fills you with something that is so hard to explain. And I need it. And I'm going away from it to be closer to the other things that make me very happy. I hope I'm not boring you.
Absolutely not. Because so many people have been in situations, maybe not, word for word that you're in, but situations like this in where they keep trying to fix it and keep trying to get out of the pain, the grief, the stress, the chronic condition. And what really needs to happen is you need to stop and surrender it all to God because none of us can do it, but God can. And
Nobody does it better than you.
no.
Nobody.
And understanding that it might not work out the way that you want it to, but God can give you the peace that surpasses all understanding. So even you saying, I don't want to leave my view and I don't want to leave the ocean, but understanding that when God puts you where he needs you to be, because he needs you to be where he's pushing you to
My
go to,
kids need me and my
he will give you
grandchildren need me.
the peace. He'll make
Yeah.
it better than you could imagine, but you have to surrender it. And that's where so much of your growth comes, is in that surrender. The affirmation part of your business is the reason specifically why I said I have to have, other than I just love you and you're a wonderful, inspirational,
Thank you.
God-filled person, have to have Alina on the podcast. I have Bible verses everywhere and aspirational
Same.
messages and it comes from the Bible. Ponder lovely things. Like, we need to be filling up with the positive. How do you marry that faith and inspiration in your business? And why do you think that's so important and resonates with so many people?
First of all, I believe in energy. And I think whatever you put energy into other people will feel it. And I always use the example, and I've been guilty of this too. When you walk into a room and you're happy and you bring this beautiful energy, you're happy. Listen, I used to have a design studio before I got my partner, and there were a few people that had really bad energy. And I would walk into the room and I just like wanted to leave. I didn't want to be there. They didn't do anything, but it's energy, and energy is everything. If I go on air, and I had one day that I went on air and I'm not a performer. Okay? I'm just not a performer. I wish I could turn it on when I need to and turn it off when I need to, but when something's really hurting, it's hard for me to just show up and pretend like, be all giggly and smiley. It's hard. And I know I have to do better in those moments, but I learned that after my dad died that I'm just not a performer. And I needed to take that moment. So I feel like you've got to surround yourself around positivity. You have to be around people because sometimes you can't always be the one that lifts people. So who lifts you? Call that person, you know, go suck the energy out of them, just like sometimes it's sucked out of you, right? And say, I need you. I need your laughter. I need your smile. I need you to just cry with me. I need you to, it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to not be the one who makes people happy. And, sometimes I was walking into work and I know that I was being the difficult one. So recognize it, do something about it. So what we started doing at work is because I'm kind of tired of social media, but we have to do it because it's
It's that
hard
love
because
hate.
yeah, it's right, exactly. So I said, I want to do more with the people at work. So we started doing funny things at work, which by the way, took 10 to 15 minutes a day. Okay. And I'm like, let's film this. And everybody's like, oh, listen, we laugh so much that it's gone into not social media, but team building. We love it so much and we laugh so much. I mean, we literally pee in our pants and then we go back to work. Okay. And it's just great. And it's kind of like, where are those places? When I walk into St. Patrick's by my house, I can't tell you what that smell and that dark room and the crosses and the holy water and the candles and it I wake up again and I'm like, I'm okay. I'm going to be okay. Things are going to be okay. My kids are going to be okay. You pray for your kids. My daughter thought she couldn't have kids and then all of a sudden was pregnant. My God, do you know how much prayer went into that? I mean, you know how we are with our kids. You're only as happy as your saddest
That's
child.
so true. Forever and ever. Never
Forever
ends.
and ever and ever. And sometimes I go to my daughter's house and I go, oh my God, can you believe you have this baby room? She's like, yes, mom. I'm like we prayed for this. We dreamed of this, right? And we are the matriarchs. We are the ones that, right? Feeding and we're filling and we're feeling and everything else.
You're in a major transition in life. I mean,
Oh my
going
God,
into
yes.
grandparenting, you're moving, your business, Q50, all of that is, you lost a parent. How do you manage stress? What do you do?
So I think with age, I've learned that this is the journey and I'm not the only one going through it. Many people have lost their parents before me. I'm still going through it. I feel like, this is life. And unfortunately, it's going to get harder because if you're lucky enough to keep living and God giving you that next day and giving you this next life, and I feel like I haven't really suffered to the extent that so many people have. And I've been so lucky and blessed to have my entire family healthy and my, four brothers and my mom's still alive. So I think that I count my blessings of everything I have and know that there's far more suffering in this world than I even know or feel. And you've got to know that, and you've got to have that empathetic thing that really drives you being something great for someone else, because it's not all about you. And sometimes we get self-absorbed and we think, but it's not all about you. And you've got to find a way to get through it and still be what you have to be for other people and just surround yourself around greatness. I don't anymore want to be I don't want to be that friend that doesn't give you, many things. I walk in my friends to want me to be around, and I no longer want people that just suck everything out of me.
Yeah.
I try to stick around and I try to be good, but sometimes, you go in different directions. Like you say, you're in a transition right now. I'm sure that you know exactly what you want to align yourself with. You're positive, and you told me something one day. I only want to represent the people that I love, the brands that I love. So you're not performing. It's not a job. You know what you want.
Yeah.
You know what you want. And that's a huge thing to know. And then getting there is the next, and making decisions. Making decisions, because my daughter's working on that now. I said, you've got to make decisions. The head of Disney for 25 years, his best trait was decision making. Do you want this dress or that one? Oh, I don't know. No, you do know. Which one do you want? And with your business, make decisions, cut out the noise. We are so fortunate to know so many incredible people at QVC. I mean,
Absolutely.
so fortunate. I mean, they don't come like they come at QVC.
Well, and I've always said, it's because, bad people might get in the building, but they'll get out pretty quick. The people who stick around have to be good humans or it doesn't work.
Authenticity is the
Yeah.
word at QVC.
Yeah.
It's crazy because, I think I call the customer Phyllis because it's Philadelphia. I think Phyllis smells a rat from a
In a
mile away.
second. You cannot fake it there.
I mean, you really go on air being who you are,
Yeah.
and you have good times and you have bad times.
Yeah. What do you love about QVC? Why do you stick around? It's not easy. You're flying back and forth.
It's hard.
Business is up and down. Hours are crazy. What keeps you there?
There's no place like it. When you have your good times, that feeling is like undeniably the greatest feeling ever. When you
Yeah.
have your hard times, when you lose, you feel the loss. When you have a bad TSV, it feels like death.
I know.
But it's a moment in time, and it comes back, and we're surrounded by people that are going through the same thing. And I actually love that we all root for each other. Look, there's a common understanding in that building that we all need to do good,
All of
because
us.
this place is the greatest place. And if we're going to survive, we all have to do good. So what does she want?
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing. You're not there for yourself. You're providing her something that she wants or doesn't need, but wants. And the minute you don't make it about yourself, I think you grow and become better. And I've had to learn that because I was kind of oversized and frumpy and this and the other. Phyllis has changed me because I never wore prints. Now I have a print studio. So I got out of my own comfort zone because she wanted different, and I adapted to what she wanted, but I made it my style.
Right.
And that's the thing, you're not going to sell her what you want to make. You want her to want but you got to stay true to you, and that's the heart. It's a balance. You're always creating, creating, creating.
It is, and it is a heart of service
Thinking.
there.
I can see you thinking.
No, I mean, it is a heart of service there because we're constantly thinking about what our customer wants and needs. Like our focus is on each other. I remember people used to always ask, oh, don't the hosts like fight over who gets the best shows and who makes the most, all that. And I was like, no, because just to your point, in order for us all to succeed, we all have to succeed. So I'm rooting for the new host who's rooting for this host who's rooting for everybody because all ships rise. And I always say the biggest antidote to stress is to serve. If you are really under a super stressful time of your life or you just can't get out of it, go serve other people. I always say get out of the country and go serve, but go serve.
I'm going to tell you that you said right now, serving others is the most fulfilling feeling in the world. And when I'm not doing it and I'm self-absorbed, I am not my happiest.
Yeah.
Isn't that true?
Takes your focus off of your own problems too and makes you and it's what we're called to do. I mean, biblically, it's what we're called to do. It's so important.
And it's a mindset that you need to create and stay there. And when you stop doing for others, and that can be anything. It could be bringing things to the people at work that they need or just anything, but constantly thinking about others. What can I do to make somebody else's day better? and
Yeah.
not just yourself,
How can I show them Jesus?
how can I show, and it's the truth, because when you have that, somehow you're just happy.
Yeah, it's
You're
so
just
true.
happy.
So what are any of your non-negotiable health practices? I know, knowing you over the
Many.
years, you got more into health and wellness not a couple years ago, right?
No, I've been into it for a long time. I just get deeper and deeper.
Yeah. So give me a couple of your non-negotiables.
Oh my God. So first of all, praying is very important. In the morning, I do my coffee with me and you, the MCT oil, my
Yeah.
prebiotic, my monk fruit, all that in the morning. Then we get to the office and we make celery juice with ginger, lemon, apple. I do my workout 6 days a week. Very important. I get my steps in, my spiritual, my health, my movement, my love, which is I have to go see my grandchild. What are my kids doing? What are we doing? Like my daughter says, "What do you want to do for Mother's Day?" I don't care as long as I'm with you.
With everybody,
So,
me too.
right. So the non-negotiables are, feeding your soul, feeding your body, moving your body, being as healthy as you can be, making good choices, and then fueling yourself, right? It's my smoothies and it's my protein powders, it's my creatine, it's, you know, my weights for my bones, it's my brain health. I mean, like you said, I've always been in it, but I get deeper and deeper in it because as we get older, things change and your body needs different things. I do feel that movement is so, so important. But just as much as you take, and I know you're like this, just as much as you take your care of your body physically, the soul is just as or even more important. So I would say physically is just as important because you also need to take care of yourself physically. But if you're physically fit and your soul is not fit, you're empty.
Yeah.
Your cup,
I tell my clients, soul work before body work. Like,
yes.
you can be doing everything right, eating. I saw this actually in like the Over 50 and Fabulous Facebook group the other day. Somebody was like, I eat right, I exercise, everything, and I still can't lose the weight, or I still can't. And I'm thinking, it's soul work. If you're not processing trauma, if you're not having that relationships with people that you need, if you don't have a connection with God the Father, nothing else is going to work physically in your
And it can
body.
be whoever, because there's so many religions and so many things in the world. Forget all that. There's one God and many ways to reach him. I can tell you, listen, I wish I was a fanatic sometimes, like fanatic, like there's people. I'm not, but I have a very solid relationship and I know deep in my heart that when I can't handle it, he will. And it's been answered to me time and how can that be a coincidence?
Yeah,
It can't. It can't be a coincidence that my mom and I struggled all these months. I hope she doesn't hear this podcast. And then I write a letter.
I hope she
I
does.
give it to God. I'm on a train with my Jesus pen. I hit send, which wasn't working, so my finger had to help a little bit. And I send it, and it's like, why? What took me so long? And I think because I was a little bit in, you know, you go through the stages, right? And it's
Yeah.
hard. It's like it's hard because it's also our father, it's her husband. We wish things would have been different. You don't know, why didn't we do this and why didn't we do that? And it's I'm sure everybody goes through these questions. And at the end of the day, it was his time. It was
Yeah.
his time. I mean, he was 92. What more do you want?
It's amazing. That's amazing. I wrote that
Yeah.
down today on some questionnaire for getting some blood work. How long do you want to live? And I said I want to live at least until 92 was my number 2. Healthfully, great cognition,
Well, my dad always said with purpose and health.
purpose and health. That's so true. Our Jesus Pen group, we had a text message chain of the
And now
Jesus
I have
Pen
these little
people.
guys. Wait,
My
hold on.
my daughter bought like a whole 100 pack of the little mini
So did
Jesuses
I.
and
So did
put them everywhere, gave them to people.
Well,
Love it.
they're all over my office, and then I have like 10 in my purse at all times, but this is
Little
my bag.
Jesus. Oh, there's the
And
Jesus Pen.
I never go anywhere without this. Even when there's turbulence on the flight, I pull them out.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Alina invited me to this text group with Dennis
Jesus, yes.
Basso, and who else was there? Was Mally
Oh
in
my
it?
God. Mally's in it, Basso's in it, Kim's in
Kill
it,
Killinger was in it for a bit.
Killinger's in it. Yeah, there's a few people in it.
That was
But
so
yeah.
funny. I love it.
So I mean, it's honestly a tool. It's a tool. It's a reminder. Even at work, when something's going wrong or anything, we're like, everybody pull out your Jesus pens. I swear to you, you can ask everybody at work. It works.
It works.
It works. Don't carry it. Don't feel self-absorbed. There is help out there if you believe. Look, anything that you believe in has answers, right? Like if you really believe, brands that are successful because somebody believes in something bigger. Because, design is design and it's great. I mean, there's a deeper meaning behind it. What's in it? What's the philosophy? What are you trying to make the woman feel? What do you want her to feel when she puts you on? I want her to feel confident, sexy, purposeful, like life is still worth living. Like, you have days that you feel beautiful and days you're like, well, tomorrow will be a better day,
Yeah,
right?
right.
It's just like that for everybody. But, when you dress the cake, you being like the icing on the cake, I think that you walk different, you skip different. So I think I love clothes. I mean, honestly, I work for clothes. I work
to
for
shop.
clothes.
Last question, what's one thing that everybody can do right now to reduce their stress?
Count their 5 greatest blessings, because you'd be surprised how much you already have. We focus so much on the lack, and don't focus on what you have, because you have no idea how lucky you are until you really look at the things that you have that make you lucky. Because in the grand scheme of things, we have so much, and so many people are suffering in this world in ways that we can't even imagine.
Gratitude is a strategy.
Yes, it is.
Alina, where can people find you?
So Peace Love Alina, Peace Love World. On my Instagram, it's Peace Love Alina. Yeah, and you can write me and DM me there, and I answer everybody. So Peace Love World, my team answers. Peace Love Alina, I answer.
And Alina wants you to feel beautiful and live an affirmation-filled life. So she's giving us 15% off on her website. Use the code
Yes.
STREST15, STREST 15 for 15% off. And that website is what, Alina?
peaceloveworld.com. And it's just the Peace Love World items, not the QVC items.
Yeah. Peace Love World. It's the best.
Thank you for choosing me.
Adore you. Thank you
I feel
for
honored.
being here. Oh my goodness. You
Kiss
are
to your
such a
family
blessing
and those
to me.
beautiful kids.
Thanks.
Same.
You too.
Thank
Bye.
you. Love you.
Let's have a real conversation about HRT. And because on StRest, we don't do anything easy, we're going to talk about HRT specifically if you are somebody who has been through cancer, or perhaps you have gone into early menopause as a result of being proactive for a possible cancer diagnosis. Now, granted, this is a conversation that every single woman should hear. We're talking to Rachel Frankenthal on the next episode of StRest. She is a hormone expert. She's a PA at UCLA, and she's going to talk to us about what she does working with women as old as in their 70s, putting them on HRT for quality of life, but also younger women, even in their 30s, who have perhaps had their ovaries or breasts removed as a result of being proactive. This is a great HRT conversation, and you're not going to want to miss it. It's coming up on the next episode of StRest. If you're enjoying the show, don't forget to subscribe and leave a review on your favorite podcast platform. Your reviews help others find the podcast and join our community. Follow me on social media at Kerstin.Lindquist for daily tips and inspiration. And visit my website at www.Kerstin-Lindquist.com to sign up for our newsletter and receive exclusive content. The information provided in this podcast is for informational and educational purposes only and should not be considered a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified health provider with any questions that you may have regarding a medical condition. The host of this podcast is a certified health coach and medical researcher, not a licensed medical professional, and the content shared does not constitute medical advice. While we strive to provide accurate and up-to-date information, we encourage you to do your own research and consult with your healthcare provider before making any changes to your healthcare treatment plans. Thank you for joining me on this journey to reduce stress and make room for rest. Remember, you're not alone. Keep coming back, share your story, ask for help, and give yourself grace.